Hey everyone, welcome to the Twin Cities Film Fest 2019 10-year anniversary. We are so excited. I am Rachel Weber. I'm your red carpet host for the evening. This is our Ballard Spar sponsored red carpet. Thank you for joining us. And with me right here from Greywood's Plot, correct? Awesome.
Yes.
I always like to double check. You know, you add an S, you take away an S, it ruins everything. So this is Josh. This is Daniel. This is Nathan. We have the writer-director. An actor. You were in it though as well, right?
Yes.
All the hats.
We're all kind of producers, writers, actors. Figure it out as we go.
Perfect.
It was four of us making this movie, and we kind of just ran with it and had fun, and it turned into a weird monster movie somehow.
What happened to the fourth person?
The fourth person is probably out eating food and getting drinks. I have no idea where fourth man is.
I was hoping for a much darker answer than that. Never mind. Okay. So, monster movie,
Yes.
black and white.
Yes.
And you guys have worked together before. We talked about this really briefly beforehand. What is it about the way you guys work together that keeps bringing you back to tell these sorts of stories?
So, I mean, in reality, Greywood's Plot was a movie that we started 3 years ago, failed at miserably. It was four friends went in the woods to try to make a movie and just couldn't do it.
Okay.
And then me and this tall drink of water ended up going on a reality show that Robert Rodriguez produced, and we made our first feature on this reality show.
Okay.
And the day we wrapped that movie, I looked at him and I was like, dude, you know what we need to do, right? And he's like, I know, we got to go finish the other movie. And we did. We came back home and we instantly started writing. We started thinking about the story that we wanted to tell. Okay. We started thinking about how we were going to tell it and how we could incorporate footage that we had filmed from 3 years ago into it. So it became, that's one of the reasons why we decided black and white was the way to go, was because we could use that B-roll that we shot. We could use shots of ourselves, and the black and white might cover some of the, changes. We're both dads. We've got bags under our eyes now, so things like that. So we took advantage of the black and white and decided this was a monster movie. This was a throwback to Universal monster movies, Ed Wood movies. Just we wanted to have fun with it. So when we went back to the woods the second time, we had a script. We had an idea. We knew what we were doing, and we had become better filmmakers. And Strauss and Keith, the missing person, they both instantly jumped in and just took the reins and went okay, so you want to be a monster, how do we do that? And Strauss figured out how to make a monster. He literally made me into a monster, figuring out how to do the practical effects, figuring out how to do everything.
So when he says figure that out, does that mean you didn't have previous experience in that?
No, I did not. His head was the first person I did a life cast of. And that was an interesting experience. It was around his kids as well, and they thought he was dying. And then we made a full cowl mask out of it, latex and everything. And it was a very, very long and interesting process that I am happy I now know.
Because you're a producer, you figured it out.
Yep, figured it out. And now maybe I'll use it again. We'll see.
Actor question. So you're mixing some footage from previously with footage that you got more recently. How was it to have to almost match performances or slip back into a character that you had left for a while?
Oh, that's a good question. It wasn't too bad. I mean, working this small, there was no fear. We could just kind of do it, and if we were wrong, we weren't afraid to be like, nah, you didn't do it like that. Could you do it this way? Because that's how you did it 2 years ago. So it wasn't as difficult as we thought it would be, and we honestly thought we would not be able to use any of the footage because of that. Okay. And once he started, Josh started editing the film himself, and he would show us clips. He's like, dude, this was from 2 years ago. This was from yesterday. It works. And we're like, it totally works. And so we really tried not to dwell on it too much because we knew we'd be in our own heads about it. And once we just started rolling, it just kind of meshed. And I honestly now I couldn't tell you which parts were from way back when and which parts are new. So.
I haven't seen this, and I'm happy for you guys. That makes me nerdy giddy. I'm it matched. Really good. So to sort of wind it up, a couple things. First of all, after this, where is it going?
Yeah, right now we're in talks with different distributions. The fun thing about a movie like this is we made this movie for a very small budget We made it with 4 of us. We own this movie. This is all ours.
Yep.
And so having that control over a project and being able to send it to anyone you want, not having to work with a studio, not having to work with anything, it's like the true independence of what you can do now in film is crazy. And we shot it on an A6300. That's a $1,000 camera. Like, this movie cost us nothing, and we have distribution interested in it already. So that's the thing that we're hoping is that we can just, you know, get the proper eyes on this weird little black and white monster movie with no names, just 4 friends in the woods. But that's really the big push for us is just we want people to see the weird thing we made and hopefully be inspired to go tell whatever insane story they have to tell.
You just gave me the best segue to my last question. I love this so much. Okay, so if you could each give just 1 or 2 quick pieces of advice, the first thing that occurs to you because this happens a lot in Minnesota, honestly. It's a small group of people. There's not a lot of money, but we have a story we want to tell. How do you do it? What, from your starting it, coming back to it, all of that, what are a couple pieces of advice you would give to someone saying, well, I want to make a movie?
Like, the biggest thing I learned with Greywood's Plot is, like, to not give up and just go, well, I guess we did it and it's fine, and then we'll put it out. Because we could have done that with the first footage. We had enough to start a movie, and we looked at it and we were like, well, it could be an okay movie. And we just wanted it to be better than okay. We wanted to make it something like utterly watchable. It's something you could sit down and get pulled into. So my biggest advice to people who, they already can start. They know the process of filmmaking, because a lot of people who ask me this question, they're like, how do you start a movie? It's like, well, you start.
Yeah.
You just start filming, or you just write a script, or you just do something. For the people who can start, just don't settle for something. Like, push forward and be like, well, what if we reshot this? We literally shot a scene in this movie 4 weeks ago, or like 5 weeks ago now. It was due to Twin Cities Film Fest a week later.
Great.
We filmed it. We were like, this concept isn't quite working. How can we make it better? We wrote the scene. We went and filmed it. We edited it. We did the visual effects. We did sound. We did score. We just did it all ourselves and got it to Twin Cities Film Festival. And it improves the movie immensely. And it's that not give up mentality of like, well, we could have been like, it's good enough, but it wasn't good enough. We knew it could be better if we added this one scene.
I feel like doing that 4 weeks ago means you really have your indie film card, because you're like, the deadline's a week away. We got this. Piece of advice from you.
Well, to piggyback off of that, like, don't be too precious about anything. Just do it. You can fix stuff in the edit. You can fix stuff later. You work with a team that you trust. Work with people that you know. The 4th member's not with us no longer, but he was great at the time. I'd love to work with him again wherever he went. But yeah, just surround yourself with like-minded people that really believe in the vision, and don't be afraid to just do it and do something that you may not view as perfect, but that's like movie magic. Like, every movie that you know and love, like, the directors, the writers, they all hate it. They all hate the final product. The things we love, all they can think about is like the worst parts about it. So just do it anyway and be okay with that. Be okay with how it. Oh,
The prodigal son has returned.
he's here. He's alive. He's here.
All right, I'll skip him so that he's not put on the spot. You give me your piece of advice.
I would say don't use your lack of equipment to a disadvantage. Don't be like, I can't make this movie because I need a better camera first, or I need this first. Those excuses hold you back more than you realize, and it doesn't matter what you're using. You could be using the worst camera, the worst computer, and the idea is just to make the film, just to start. You just need to start. So yeah.
I love that. Do you want to add a piece of advice on how to make a monster movie on a low budget?
Just do the best you can.
All right, this is the full 4 out of 4, guys, for Greywood's Plot. We're super excited that they're joining us on our 10th anniversary year, and we will be back with more red carpet interviews in just a few moments. See you guys.